Hey guys, this is Apple Gamer 24/7. I'm here to give you guys a prediction video today. I know I really don't do prediction videos that much, but I decided to make one. I'm here to give you guys some predictions today on the iPad 2. I've been reading a lot of news and rumors about the iPad 2 for the last, I would say the last month or so, and I do want to give you guys my predictions and sort of what I'm expecting from the next generation iPad. So the first thing that I'm expected to see in this generation iPad is a new design. Just like Apple does with all their mobile devices, they usually update the design. I'm really focusing on a design that sort of brings together the iPhone 4 and the iPod Touch 4G. The backing, I really do think the backing of this device is going to be somewhat like the iPod Touch, as you can see right here. Sort of has that Concord bubble design, really nice. I think it's gonna be something like this, but I'm thinking it's gonna be made out of glass, just like you see with the iPhone 4, and also maybe taking the glass and the antenna band structure that Apple has created with the iPhone 4, and also put it on this new generation iPad. So that's what I'm thinking design-wise that Apple's gonna do with the iPad 2. Now, this is probably a given that the iPad's going to probably have two cameras in it, a front-facing camera and a possible rear side-facing camera. Now, there's some doubts to this. I don't think there's going to be a rear-facing camera personally because I don't see people taking their iPads out to take pictures. I mean, if they were at home and something, okay, but I don't see anybody, really going out to the park and say, "Oh, I want to take a picture of something." Pull out their tablet and take a picture. No, I expect somebody to take out their smartphone or their iPod Touch or digital still camera. But I don't see people taking out an iPad. Now, I do see a FaceTime camera or a rear front-facing camera for FaceTime because it's probably a given with cameras. There's going to be FaceTime so you can FaceTime with your Mac, your iPhone, and your iPod Touch. So I do see FaceTime and the possible two cameras on the iPad 2. Also, I do see in the iOS 4.3 betas that there were leaks of camera, photo booth, and FaceTime. So there's probably given that photo booth is on there. For macOS 10 users that know what photo booth is, that's great. If you don't, photo booth is basically a special effects picture taking program on macOS 10 Leopard. Also, Apple usually updates their processors and their mobile devices. I do see Apple updating the processor into the iPad to be a dual-core processor to compete with some of the other tablets that are supporting dual-core processors. So not only that it's going to be faster, it's going to run better. Programs are up and faster. Overall, it's going to be snappier than ever. So that's one thing about the dual-core processor, and I think it's going to be called the A5 chip. So that's just why I'm calling it. I don't think anything's gonna change with the screen. I think the screen overall on the iPad 2 is great. I don't see a 7-inch version. Steve Jobs already said in the financial call, I believe, at the end of 2010, that a 7-inch iPad or 7-inch tablet is just not their belief. It's not in the right direction. So I don't see a 7-inch tablet coming from Apple. I do see the 9.7-inch tablet. I don't see a Retina display. The reason why I'm saying this is because the Retina display will be very costly to manufacture on a display that large. It's probably a lot cheaper to do a display like the iPhone, but if you're doing a iPad display, it's probably a lot of money. So Apple's not probably going to put their Retina display. They'll probably wait to the third generation iPad, the iPad 3. Also, software-wise, there's a few things I'd like to see software-wise. I would like to see iOS 4.3 installed out of the box. I think that's a given by now. And also, I would like to see iMovie for iPad come to the iPad because a lot of YouTubers that do videos or take their pictures and have the iPad connection kit would like to edit video on their iPad, but iMovie for iPad doesn't install on the iPad. You need the iPhone 4 or the iPod Touch 4G in order to install it. So I do see Apple possibly making a version of the iLife apps like iPhoto, iMovie, GarageBand, stuff like that for the iPad use because of the display. So that's one thing I'm also putting out there. Also going back to hardware wise, I do think that there's going to be a Verizon 4G slash 3G slash AT&T 3G slash 4G version. So depending on what model you have or what carrier you have, there's not going to be any Wi-Fi or a specific carrier you need to work. It's just going to work out of the box. And possibly it could be unlocked so you can put it on any carrier in the US. Apple could just unlock it so they can work it with a unlocked GSM or unlocked CDMA network. Time will tell. I'm also putting out there that I also read one place that there's going to be a different price for the base model. The base model of this new iPad 2 for I believe a 16 gig will be $399. $399 is a perfect price point. It gets the iPad in the hands of a lot more people, and I think it's a great starting out price. I don't have a problem with the iPad starting price now. I think if a $499 is a good price, but I think if they could drop it down $100, get the latest technology like they usually do, I think Apple will have a nice seller. And I'm also throwing a 120 gigabyte iPad in there as well for people that want to hold a lot of storage. So that's one thing I am putting out there as well. So when is this thing gonna be announced overall? I do see it being announced at the maybe the middle of February, beginning of February at a Apple event, and I expect it to be at the same time as the first generation iPad April, first week of April, a few weeks after the Easter holidays. I do expect the iPad 2 to be here. So anyway, guys, if you have any questions about the iPad 2, please them down below, and I'll try to get back to you. So anyway, guys, see you guys in the next video.